Remember this? I put this video out a few weeks ago about how my dreams are impossible. Well, it turned out it got a lot of people talking about racing, plus some quite cool attention from none other than the BBC, and they wanted to get me on the radio to speak all about it and my story. So, here it is.
On BBC Upload. So first up this evening on the show, we're meeting filmmaker George Mattock. He uploaded his documentary My Dreams Are Impossible, which explores the world of F1 and the steps that it would take to get there. I chatted with him yesterday about what inspired it. Hi George, welcome to BBC Upload. Could you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hello, thanks for having me on. I'm George, I'm 22, I'm from deepest, darkest Suffolk, in the middle of nowhere, and I guess I would say I'm a videographer, freelance videographer and producer and editor, and basically just work in media for a variety of companies, currently freelancing for Getty Images in their sports department in London.
Wow, amazing. And this is from deepest, darkest, very secretive Suffolk.
Exactly, yeah. It's strange to think that I'm sat literally in the middle of nowhere in one of the best county, or the best county in the UK, and I get to do all these cool things. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is very cool. Now, you've sent us a video in on BBC Upload, and it's all about chasing your dream of being a racing driver and the impossible obstacles that stand in your way. We're going to hear it tonight on BBC Upload. Take me back though. Why did you make the video in the first place?
I said to my friends and family for a while that I've always wanted to make a video like this for a long time and want to explain and kind of not vent my frustrations, but just lay out the information and see, what the scenario was, see what the response would be. And essentially, it is a long story, but I'll trim it down. I know you've got time to fill, so I'll trim it down. But essentially, I've always wanted to be a racing driver. When I grew up, when I was very small, I went go-karting for the first time. And I loved every second of it and managed to beat most of the other kids when I was like 6 or 7 or however old I was. And then me and my parents, we just tried to keep going as much as possible, but we hit a financial barrier and it was just too expensive. It was going to cost tens of thousands of pounds to fund me as an 8-9-year-old to go further in motorsport. And obviously as a regular family, my parents, we don't have that sort of money, spare cash to just throw away, and very few people do. So I basically had to stop go-karting there, and I just continued to play football and scored goals instead on a Sunday morning, instead of racing. And that story has happened so many times where people have really been encouraged to try and do their dream and reach their goals, but it's been literally impossible. And I've seen most of this many times from a variety of angles. Most of it has been seen for me in the last 2 or 3 years. In 2017, I saw an advert for a scholarship. It called itself a Racing Driver Scholarship. And basically you had to set a lap on a simulator, and the winner wins about £40,000 to go racing in the UK. So it's a massive prize. And obviously loads of people in the UK are very excited for that. So I'm one of these people that I've played a few racing games. I had a steering wheel and pedals, and my parents bought me a new steering wheel for my Christmas present when I was 16, 17 back then. And so I did loads of practice and tried to win this competition. I think there was over 1,100 people entered and put a lap time in this competition. This guy went all around the UK, and I finished 7th or 8th. I think it was 8th. So yeah, I finished 8th out of 1,100 people, and I was under, and it was 0.05 something away from winning. And basically I said to the organizer of this scholarship, I was like, I'm doing media at Suffolk 1. Do you mind if I go to the first test day to whoever wins? And I'll go and make a video for you, and maybe you can, post it on social and see what people think. So he was like, yeah, that's fine. Obviously I did the first one for free. And he saw the first one that I made, and he basically commissioned me for the rest of the year to go around the UK following the winner, a guy called Sebastian, who's now one of my best friends. And and fast forward 2 more years from that, I've made this video, and now I'm speaking to you.
Wow. What is it like making these videos? Because obviously you're, like you said, your kind of racing seemed to hit this impossible obstacle. How does it feel being involved but making the videos?
it feels a bit weird. That my parents always say that I've probably gone the right route of this side of motorsport, because motorsport is such a unique environment, really, where you can just pay to win, and you can see this in some areas in the higher levels of motorsport. And so I'm kind of still involved in that scene, and that's amazing. Motorsport is my favorite sport by far. And I'm still involved in the scene, but I'm not doing the driving. As much as I would love to be doing the driving, I'm probably more involved in, the media side of things. So I'm still involved, which is great. But I would prefer to be driving, but you can't have everything. And of course, it is pretty much impossible for any regular family to reach that level.
I think it's such an interesting topic that you explore in this documentary that you've made. When did you start with your video making then, and what is it that you get out of it?
So I started making videos, I think I started properly in 2016 when I started at Suffolk One College in Ipswich. I did go to a school, I won't name which school because it wasn't very good, but I went to a school and I did media there, and that was one of about 3 things I really enjoyed. So I continued that on, went to Suffolk One and did media there. And the team at Suffolk One, I can't really sing their praises any higher. They really encouraged not just me, but everyone in the class to, pursue what they enjoyed and try and combine that with their skills in media. So I was doing, being interested in racing, and I started making pretty rubbish videos, it has to be said, at the start. But obviously over time, fast forward a few years, I've managed to learn a lot more, get better. And that was when I started, probably 5 years ago or so.
This is the kind of thing that I'm really interested in with BBC Upload, is the sort of the technical elements to it, I guess, and digging deep into those. So what kind of skills have you had to master to produce the videos that you're making now?
It's actually, it's such a wide variety of skill sets that you require to make a video. I sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet a little bit here, but it is, I respect anyone that makes videos, because you have to be most of the time a one-person band. And, you're filming, you're editing, you're doing the sound, you're doing the colors, you're doing the voiceovers, you're doing the distribution, you're doing all of these things. And so for me, I had to make sure that firstly, the main reason that I do videos is to put out something that I'm really happy with, and I won't put out anything that I'm not really happy with. So the filming has to be good and the editing has to be good. And so it did take me a little while. It probably took me a week or so to make the video that we're talking about. But it's just so fulfilling when you do something and you know that you've executed it to the best of your ability. It might not be the world's most amazing video. Like when I started, none of my videos were amazing. But as long as I was happy and I knew that I put 100% in, I'd be pleased.
What are your top tips for anyone that's had an idea for a video documentary like yours? What are your top tips and how do you start?
My top tips are to just do it. I'm sure that's trademarked by Nike, but I just think that if you've got an idea, even if you're using your phone or something, firstly write your ideas down on a notepad, pen and paper, or in your phone, and you can just jot down your ideas of what you want to do, and then try and plan out roughly what sort of vibe you want to have from the video, how you want to film it, who you want to speak to, all these kind of things. But my main motto, I think I've got in the back of my head, is that I just say yes to everything, basically, that comes my way in terms of opportunities. That's what I did when I first started. Now I can be a little bit more choosy. But when I first started, I did absolutely every video project that was ever offered to me, and that gave me such a wide range of knowledge on, people from like therapeutic companies, people that just want talking heads, sports, technology, all these things coming together. So I would say just say yes to everything and write things down. That's underrated, I think.
George, it's been so great talking to you tonight. Thank you ever so much for coming on BBC Upload. We're going to hear the audio of the video tonight on the show. If anyone wants to go and have a look at it online, where's the best place for that and what do they need to type in?
Best place to look for me is on YouTube. You can just search George Mattock, Mattock, and I will come up. The video in question is called My Dreams Are Literally Impossible. And it's pretty short, so get yourself some popcorn, have a look, and let me know what you think on Instagram at George_Mattock.
George, thank you so much. Let's have a listen to it now. That was a documentary called My Dreams Are Impossible by George Mattock. And if you literally type that into a search engine, so George Mattock, Mattock, My Dreams Are Impossible, you can watch the film of it, which is really, really nicely shot, and well worth going and checking out his YouTube channel as well, if you come across that on your search engine too.